Hello, and welcome to this Miklix video where I'm going to show you how to defeat the boss called Rellana, Twin Moon Knight in Castle Ensis in Elden Ring. As you probably know, bosses in Elden Ring are divided into 3 tiers. From lowest to highest, field bosses, greater enemy bosses and finally demigods and legends. Rellana, Twin Moon Knight is in the highest tier, legendary bosses, and is the end boss of the Castle Ensis Legacy Dungeon in the Land of Shadow. She is an optional boss in the sense that it is not required to defeat her in order to progress the main story of the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion. The overall look and style of this boss remind me of a certain dancer from a spiritual predecessor to this game, although in a less spectacular version. But she does have a certain dancing-like way of moving that may look graceful but is highly annoying when she keeps her pointy ends in my direction. And she does that a lot. Before entering the boss room, it's possible to summon in some assistance in the form of Needle Knight Lita. I realize summoning NPCs will sometimes make bosses harder and I rarely use them in the base game, but it has always felt a bit like I'm missing some of their story if I don't include them, so I have decided to summon them when they are available in the expansion. Lita is a quite capable tank and held the boss's aggro very well. Yes, it's definitely because she's a good tank and it's definitely not because I ran around like a headless chicken and didn't do enough damage for the boss to consider me a real threat. Definitely. I also summoned my favorite assassin in the form of Black Knife Tish, as she is always good at distraction and sparing my own tender flesh from some of the beating. Also, this boss has a huge health pool, so Tish's damage output comes in very handy to speed things up a bit. As mentioned, this boss is highly agile and moves in a dancer-like fashion. She has several sweeping attacks and area of effect skills as well as homing glintstone missiles, so I overall found it quite difficult to consistently avoid taking damage. With 2 summoned helpers, it was not horribly difficult to find time to take a sip of Crimson Tears, but even so, her area of effect attacks can be devastating, so make sure to look out for those. She can also infuse her 2 swords with glintstone magic and fire, respectively. It looks cool and all, but I feel like she hits plenty hard without infusing her weapons with anything, so I'm not sure how big of a difference it makes. But I suppose a dancing boss likes to show off with fancy glowing blades. I overall found it to be a pretty fun fight, although the boss has huge amounts of health, so it feels like it's dragging on for longer than it should. Perhaps it would have gone easier without Needle Knight Lita there as NPC summons increases the boss's health, but on the other hand, that would have meant less distractions for the boss. Oh well, there is no such thing as a bad win. And now for the usual boring details about my character. I play as a mostly dexterity build. My melee weapons are the Hand of Malenia and the Uchigatana with keen affinity. I was level 187 in Scadutree Blessing 5 when this video was recorded, which I think is reasonable for this boss. I'm always looking for the sweet spot where it's not mind-numbing easy mode, but also not so difficult that I will be stuck on the same boss for hours. Anyway, this is the end of this Rellana, Twin Moon Knight video. Thanks for watching. Check out the YouTube channel or Miklix.com for more videos. You could even consider being completely awesome by liking and subscribing. Until next time, have fun and happy gaming.